That is a tasty beverage. Welcome back to Sippin With Sin, the number one podcast about, everything. Don't question it. We are the number one podcast of said such things that we decide when we decide them. It's the number one podcast of this across the astral plane, across the universe, across everywhere. It is. Except in your heart of hearts, people far smarter than all of us have proved it, and it is what it is. You don't have to hear the spiel if you're new here. Yeah, it's true. Whatever. Welcome back. Another week, another episode. I believe this is episode 105. Pretty crazy. Hopefully you have a nice beverage and you're ready to listen to us ramble for the next probably hour or longer if our esteemed colleague decides to rant, which is very possible. We could have a rant counter this episode. But without further ado, let's welcome him and get the ramblings going. Welcome back, Mr. Christian.
Thank you so much. It feels good to be back for the 105th episode. Man, that's crazy that we've been doing this that long. I still love it.
Christian never answered my question before we started this podcast. I asked him a very interesting question, and he didn't tell me the answer. So I just want you all to just ask Christian when you see him, what was the question? And maybe he'll tell you because he ignores me. He doesn't answer my questions. Doesn't answer my text. Doesn't share the podcast on his personal stuff. He hates us. Just know that. Just when you see him, just say, why do you hate us? Or actually, all the social media, you should just be like, hey, why do you hate? Why do you hate us? Why do you hate us?
Why do you hate us? Why do you hate us? Tell us why. I had something. Excuse. I had something and literally just forgot.
He's going to be like, I'm a homeowner now.
I am.
Yeah, but that doesn't change the fact of you could love your listeners.
I love you guys. You guys are the reason why I do this.
Nope.
The reason why any of us do this, to be honest.
Before the podcast, I said, screw you all.
Sounds exactly like something that I would say. So yeah. You know what though? I'm gonna change things up this time. I'm gonna just like jump right into some stuff.
In other words, he doesn't want to talk about his disdain for you all.
I love you guys so much. I don't have a whole lot of news today, but I wanted to get the news out of the way because it was so small and minuscule that I wanted to just do that first. The only news that I have this week is, I know that we talked about this on the pod before, but the Arkham Asylum TV series that was coming out on Max is no longer a thing. They have officially canceled that show. It's not a thing. We are still getting the Penguin series, but the Arkham series
that's this fall, right?
To take place after that. Yes, it is. That is this fall, so we'll get like a full trailer for that, probably around Comic-Con, if not during Comic-Con. And we'll keep going with that. But yeah, just wanted to let you guys know that Arkham series is excommunicado. It is gone. So we won't have that anymore. And as far as what I've been like reading, watching, playing, listening to, I haven't been playing anything. Like you guys know, I've been super busy in real life. So just haven't had the opportunity to play. I'm about to start reading a couple of new books that I am cultivating right now. I'm really just trying to get them all together. So when I start reading, I don't stop. I just want to keep going. And I'll keep you guys updated on what those are. They're going to be horror books for sure. And like I said, I'll keep y'all updated on that. I'm just trying to see which ones I want to go with. I have a big list. I'm trying to just dwindle that list down. And then other than that, I have been watching in my spare time, which is not a lot, House. I know we talked about that before in the pod, but I'm on season 4 of House right now, and I'm still enjoying it. There's been a couple of shakeups in the show, so I'm enjoying what's happening right now, and I'll keep you guys updated on whether or not I continue to like the show. I think the writing is really good, especially for something that came out in like 2007-ish. But I'm like I said, I'm still enjoying it. I really like the show. House is a very interesting character. I think my favorite character is Wilson, though. So if you guys are familiar with House, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, that's what I've been doing so far. Sin, I will throw it to you.
Well, I've been sharing the podcast out, unlike somebody.
Same. I've been doing the same.
No? Oh, really? You shared last week's episode? Because I didn't see that.
Oh, you must have missed it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Enough Christian bashing today. That sounded really bad, but we're talking about this right here, our other co-host right here. There we go. Wow. Okay, that's a great start to this episode. Okay, back to the show.
Love it.
I've been stupid busy. I literally don't have time to like watch any shows right now or anything. My 2-year-old is extremely active, and since he's so much like more active than he was, he demands way more attention, and it's like daddy this, daddy that, pretty much constantly with some kind of new adventure. So I've been dealing with that, and then just work stuff. I've been super busy with that, and my workload. But I did get a chance to. I watched a movie. It took two different like times watching, like sessions, but I was able to watch a movie, and I played a game, or 2 games actually. So we can talk about that if you want. Which would you like to hear first, Christian? Movie, game. Also, I need book suggestions because I have been extremely indecisive. I have been looking for my next audiobook. I finished the Corey Taylor book, the first one, 7 Deadly Sins, and I'm trying to figure out if I want to listen to another one of his books, if I want to listen to Heroin Diaries, because I did watch the movie Dirt a long time ago when it came out about Motley Crue. I feel like that book may be interesting. So I don't know if I want to listen to a music book, like music biography-ish book, or what exactly I want to listen to. I'm holding off Pet Sematary until closer to Halloween, like Christian suggested. I'm very excited to listen to that, though, and I'm sure then I'll binge the movies. But, yeah, maybe Christian will have suggestions here before long for a book for me. Games. We'll do games first. I played The First Descendant. It is like a Destiny Warframe type game. It's on PlayStation, Xbox, PC, cross-platform. I think it's even cross-progression. It's pretty dope. I'm not going to lie. I enjoyed it. I had fun with it. I only got to play maybe 2 hours. Stayed up way too late one night playing. And it was fun. Like, I had a good time with it. I enjoyed it. I played with my cousin, and, you know, we had fun. We ran around, did stuff, and it was a good time. Definitely want to play it more. The other game I've been excited for, I am a fan of survival games, like post-apocalyptic, or just survival games, games like Ark, games like, I don't even know, H1Z1, just anything where you can build bases and stuff. I never played Rust or anything, but any kind of survival game where you can build bases and things like that, I tend to spend way too much time building bases and doing shit. And this game looks cool, and I finally got to play it. It came out the other day. It's another free-to-play game called Once Human. Forgot to mention, First Descendant is free-to-play also. But this game's called Once Human, and I'm not going to lie, the story is not what I expected. It's very different, but it's cool. It is really cool. I've enjoyed
like
it.
Good different?
Do what?
You said, is it good different?
Yeah, no, it was not, I don't know. I don't really know what I was expecting, but it's like very like meta humans and like these butterflies that give you abilities that you like harness like power, and I don't know, it's crazy. And then there's like crazy enemies and stuff, and I don't know, I'm excited. I'm definitely gonna try to play more in the next coming days. I'm gonna try to really bust ass to get some free time where I can just enjoy it. It's not something I've been streaming at the moment, but more of like I just want to enjoy it off stream and chill and kind of like enjoy a video game, which is when you do content creation, you don't always get to fully enjoy a video game, you know, because you're trying to entertain, you're trying to do things. So it's nice sometimes just to enjoy stuff for yourself and go back to the love of gaming. But I've played those two. I'll definitely let you guys know more about them as I play more of them. They're free to play, though. Definitely check them out. Once Human's only on PC right now on Steam, and the First Descendant is on pretty much anything, so you can definitely check those out. And if you do, let me know what you think of them. I would love to hear your thoughts. The movie I watched is one of 2 that were kind of announced kind of close together. The latter is the one I'm more excited for, but I was intrigued by this one, and that will be M. Night Shyamalan's daughter's directorial debut, right?
Mm-hmm.
The movie's called The Watchers. Me and the missus watched The Watchers, and I have to say, she is very... You can tell she's who her dad is, because like she has a kind of a similar style. Not saying like fully the same, but it's very similar. I will say the movie, especially for a first movie, was pretty solid. Like, yeah, I mean, it was solid. Honestly, I was not. What was revealed, I didn't really guess, and I don't think I would have guessed it per se. I had kind of thought one thing, and then when they revealed it, I was like, oh, well, that's kind of dope and different. Okay, I'll take that. Yes, there are twists. There's a couple, I would say. Is it like as impactful as like his Sixth Sense and stuff? No, but it's still, she has little things. Yeah, no. If rating it right now, I would give it a 7. Is it the best thing I've seen? No, but I think it's solid. It's good, and I would definitely rewatch it.
Okay.
But I liked it. Dakota Fanning, I think, is the lead in it. I think that's who it was. And it was not bad. It was an interesting. I give points for originality and something that is not something we've seen before, and this was kind of like that. Which typically, if it's anything within the Shyamalan realm, I don't think he's ever really. I think it's all been kind of original stuff. It's never like a reboot or anything or piggybacking.
Yeah, it's all been
so
original stuff. Yeah,
it's cool, and the route they went was interesting. So I'm stoked for that. Obviously, his movie coming out in a month or under a month, Trapped, I'm way more excited for. So, but I was pretty stoked on it. Watched it, not bad. I'll give it a 7 right now. And yeah, I don't think I could give it below a 7 at the moment. But yeah,
well, that's good news.
So we'll go with on that. I did look at how many episodes were in Blue Lock, and the missus was semi-interested in it, so we'll be watching that at some point when we get a chance. Full disclaimer, I watched one episode of Kaiju, but I didn't get a chance to watch the finale. So I'm to the finale. So eventually, one day, we'll get to talk about Kaiju number 8. But yeah, that's about it for me, I think, this week.
All right.
Yeah, super exciting.
Well, good. I guess we get to go on to the bulk of what
we get to go to a moment of silence because we're gonna think about how we don't have Demon Slayer to talk about this week, and I'm sad. Oh, did you see what Demon Slayer got rated?
I did not see what it got rated.
IGN gave it a 3.
Wow.
For the season, it was like it stretched everything it could from the premiere to the finale, and it was just nothing. And they were just getting roasted in the comments. Like one person was like, "This same person gave." I think it was JJK season 2 or something. I don't remember. They're like, they gave it a low score too. And then the other one was like, yeah, and they also gave She-Hulk like an 8 or a 9. Like they were just roasting. And I was like, oh shit.
IGN's about
Is it the weakest of the seasons? Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a filler season for sure. But it wasn't like 20 episodes of filler. They could have done a lot more, I'm sure, and drug it out.
That's the other thing. It wasn't like straight filler. Like all of the stuff, just almost all of the stuff that we saw was in the comic. You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, it's not. It wasn't as action packed as the previous seasons because we got a lot of like Demon Slayer's formula in the previous seasons was kind of like you get an episode or two, minus the first season. You get an episode or two of like, hey, this is the characters post whatever happened. They're recovering. This is pretty much who you're gonna have for the season. Shit hits the fan, and you're fighting for the rest of the season. And
I mean, yeah,
I'm fully expecting shit hitting the fan like almost immediately in the movies. Like I just think it's gonna be balls to the wall for the most part in the next bit. Like this is probably the slowest part we're gonna have in the whole thing for the rest of it.
Yeah, I mean it's
all in one night, right? Like this is all essentially a night.
Let me just say this, and I'm only gonna say this because I don't want to get too spoilery. This is mild spoilers, okay? For the rest of the series, all I can tell you is
buckle up, Buttercup.
I mean, yeah, just I don't want you to read into this too much, but I'm going to say it anyway. I know you have favorite characters. Don't do that.
In other words, everybody's about to get worked. There's about to be so much murder.
What I can say that's not a spoiler at all.
Is Demon Slayer going to Game of Thrones? It's like, we don't give a damn who you like. They're about to get murdered.
I can't confirm or deny that. What
I mean, that's fine. I think, honestly, that was probably one of the things I love the most about Game of Thrones, because a lot of shows you kind of like, they're not going to kill this character or they're not going to murder like a favorite character. Game of Thrones was like, I don't give a damn.
What I can say, because I'm straight. It's literally a tab open on my fucking computer
Christian,
right
I want
now.
to read this because I don't know how.
Every single person that you have met is about to fight for their life and go through some shit. That's all I can tell you.
I want that though. I want like when it's all said and done.
You say that right now.
And the sun rises. I want those left standing to look like, dude, they just got into like, I don't know, they were just in hell. I'm talking about like, I want limbs missing. I want people like barely functioning that survive.
Oh, then you're great. Then you're gonna. Because
I love that. I love that. Like I like superhero because essentially Hashira. I've said this before. They're like superheroes, right? Like they're essentially similar to a superhero in this whole story. And I like when they come out scathed. I like to see them like, damn, they were in a legit fight, not like, whoo, I broke a sweat. But I defeated that villain. Like I like to see, like, hey, they are busted up and they're gonna be scarred for the rest of their life. Like these people just got.
Yeah, you're gonna love this next arc.
Can you tell me how many people die?
I can't tell you that.
Do you know how many people die?
I do.
How many people do we have in Infinity Chapter?
I just read somebody dying, and this person, there's a character that you already know they're gonna. I don't have to tell you who it is. If you look at the roster of characters right now, you're like, that person's definitely going to die.
Insect.
And you're correct. I'm not going to tell you who it is. I'm just telling you, you know who it is. That's all I can say.
Oh, wait. I probably already said them. Okay. No, can you tell me how many people are in there? Can we have like a count of how many good guys are in there?
How many Hashira are left right now?
That's what I'm trying to think. So you have, how many Hashira is there? 7? No.
You have Snake.
Yeah.
Water.
Yeah.
You have Stone.
Yep.
You have
Insect.
Insect.
Love.
You have Tanjiro. Love.
Wind.
Oh, and then you have yeah, and you have Inosuke and Zenitsu. Oh, you know what? I can tell you one more thing.
Wait, is that right? Is there only 9? Was there 7 Hashira? And then no, that's not.
Because
Rengoku we're missing somebody.
No, because Rengoku
missed. There's 10.
Oh, sorry. It was. I thought we said miss. Sorry.
Okay, hold on. Redo it then, because I feel like there's 7 left. How many did we start with?
Got missed.
How many did we start with? Hold on. Let's do process elimination.
Damn.
Because you lose. Rengoku's gone. Sound's gone. Because Sound had to retire. That's it for Hashira that had to step down. So was there 9 originally? Or was there 10?
Hold on, let me think. You got Obanai, so you got Obanai, which is the snake. You got Shinobu, which is insect. You got Gyu, which is water. You have Tenzin, but he doesn't count. So you got I already said Gyu. So that's
Wind.
3. You got who?
Wind. Stone.
Yeah. Love.
Mist. Love.
Mist.
Is that it?
That's it, dude.
You already said Stone.
Yeah, that's it. Because the other characters that are there are Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke.
Which makes 10. So you have 10 total. 7 Hashira, and then Tanjiro's like honorary, and then the other 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So 10. How many deaths do we have? So I can just be trying to do math. Can you tell us deaths? I can't wait for the misses to pop in chat and be like, shut up. Stop talking.
I can't tell you how many people die because you'll easily be able to be like, oh, it's this and this. So I can't tell you how many die.
Over under 5.
I can't. See, that's also a slippery slope. That's a slippery slope. That's a very slippery slope to get into right there. Because here's the thing, if I tell you that, then you're going to be like, oh, then it's blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying?
You won't let me have fun. You just won't let me have fun. I'm going to have to read this. I'm about ready just to read it, and then I can just sit there and know what's coming and enjoy it. and the missus will probably hate me because she'll then ask me questions like I'm asking you. She'll be like, "Don't tell me," but then she'll be like, by process of elimination, she'll keep asking questions until she can start.
Okay, I can tell you this. There's at least 3 deaths.
Okay.
And I can tell you this too.
Okay,
there's at least 3.
Here's what I want to know: are the deaths at least good? When they die, is it like Rengoku good? Like they go out like
Rengoku. Out of all of them that die, he has my personal favorite death.
Rengoku.
But yeah, he has my favorite death. But yes, there are some deaths that are like that go hard. And what I can say is, you and the missus, to be honest, have successfully called 2 of them, but I won't tell you which 2.
I forgot who I even said.
Not only did y'all call them, but you said at one point you said exactly how somebody
I think I know
may
exactly
or may
who
not.
you're talking about. I know exactly which one you're talking about because it's foreshadowed in the last season.
That is correct. But I'm not telling you anything else.
I mean, I know exactly what you're talking about now. Like, but that's fine though. Like, as long as they go out strong and you're like, damn, that was cool.
Nobody goes out like a bitch.
I don't think a Hashira can go out like a bitch though, to be fair. Like, I feel like there
are some demons that think they go out like bitch until they don't. I'll say that.
So I don't know what fight I'm most excited about. And this, we totally
I can tell you what fight I'm most excited,
and we've derailed. But
this is
either going to be number 3.
Last thing.
Number 3.
Last thing.
No, fights I'm most excited for. Number 3, and I'm assuming he'll fight Tanjiro, just because the Rengoku, the hilt on the sword. I feel like they're in some shape or form going to battle, especially with like how they left things off with Tanjiro throwing the sword and like pretty much wanting revenge. And I can't wait to watch that fight. I feel like that fight's going to go pretty hard.
Oh, you're talking about
I can't think of his name. The one that kills Rengoku, number 3.
Asuka or Akashka.
Yeah.
What's his name? Yeah.
I'm assuming they fight, right? I'm assuming it's. They have to.
Listen, you know good and well Tanjiro's not going to be able to see that dude's face and not go berserk.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they have to fight. Like, they have to finish it the way that was left off. And that fight, I can't wait for. The other one I'm stoked for.
That fight goes so hard.
Well, he already went hard with Rengoku. Their fight was
dog. You're not ready. You're not ready.
Okay, next fight I'm stoked for, and I don't know who it will be against. Like, I want to say Tanjiro, but I feel like Tanjiro is always a logical answer because he's in every Upper Demon fight. But I don't think he will be. He won't be in this because there's no way he can go. There's 4 left, right? Is there 4 upper ranks? Because the whatever chick that plucks stuff with all the eyeballs, she's moved up to 4. Then you have 3, 2, which is like looks like a pretty vampire. I don't know what.
Yo.
And then 1. 1 is who I'm stoked for. I cannot wait to see who fights 1 or which one's fight.
There's one that you are missing. Let me say this. And then I gotta be done because I don't want to spoil anything. This is the last thing I'm gonna say. One of my favorite fights in the entire series.
Of course, Muzan's gonna be a sick fight too. Like, I'm not counting
Muzan because I'm not counting.
I'm not even.
Yeah.
I fully expect Muzan's gonna be a final boss fight, and it should hopefully live up to a final boss fight.
Yo, oh God, I can't talk about that. I can't talk about it. This is what I can say. One of my favorite fights, excluding Muzan, he does not count. Zenitsu.
Ooh, I wonder who he fights. Dude, if he
they haven't talked about it in the show at all, really. So they've talked about it kind of. I can't because it'll ruin who he's fighting.
So my theory is a demon killed somebody, maybe his master.
That's a really good thought. Stay on that train.
Okay, because he changed his demeanor. Is like.
This is the only time in the entire series that you see Zenitsu just be like, "Nah, I'm kill you, bro."
Your mic cut out. No, it'd be like what?
Oh, sorry. I was saying this is the only time in the series that you see Zenitsu like, I don't care, I'm gonna kill you. Like, we're done.
I mean,
We're done.
he had the coldest fall out of everybody. Like, dude was just like, I'm about to fuck everything up.
You remember how, like, think about. It's like I'm trying to think because there's a.
God, I'm about to have to read this.
I got it. You remember the last season when Tanjiro was fighting?
Mangas aren't in audiobooks, right? There's no way.
No, they're not. You remember when Tanjiro was fighting the Upper Moon from last season that made himself really small and shit, and how determined Tanjiro.
5? No.
You remember how determined Tanjiro was to kill him?
Yeah.
That's what you're about to see from Zenitsu.
I want him to go off just because he's been he's a lovable character and he's had moments of flash where you're like, okay, you need to sleep
he's
more.
Not the first fight either. He's not the first main fight that if they keep following the manga, the first fight that we're gonna see. Oh, that's a spoiler though. Y'all might not want to know that.
Okay, so the first movie will be Infinity Castle. So we should have how many fights in Infinity Castle?
So Infinity Castle is going to be more than one movie because there's no way they can fit it in one. So it's going to be, I think, 3 movies.
I thought they were wrapping it up, so it has to be the final.
I'm pretty sure Infinity Castle is going to be more than one film.
So 2, and then the final would be like what? Something Sunrise or Final Battle?
Yeah, something I forget. I can't think of it.
They were wrapping. The trilogy was the wrap, like the end of Demon Slayer, because that's what threw me off.
I could have sworn they were extending it out. Maybe I'm wrong.
I mean,
Am I wrong?
I'm fine if they do, but damn, that's a lot.
No. Crunchyroll announced that the Infinity Castle movie is a trilogy, so I'm pretty sure that arc is going to be 3 movies, and then they'll have the Sunrise thing be the last one that they do.
But shouldn't it be Final Battle Sunrise? Like that's 2 different arcs.
I think that's what it's called.
All this happens in one night, I'm assuming, right? Like this is all on the same night.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're saying Sunrise, so they've got Muzan right there. I'm assuming this is all taking place within one evening of just carnage, which means next to no filler, because if it's all in one night and they're literally
no more filler, bro. This is it.
Man. Damn.
Anyway, we got to move on because we've been talking about this.
I'm just gonna sit here. I'm about to start Googling everything.
Please don't do that. You're gonna ruin it.
I don't want to do that. I'll be mad at myself. I want to read it though. I want to read it. I want to pick up right after Hashira arc. I don't even want to read the rest of it. I just want to go straight in.
Well, if you do that, you might ruin some stuff for yourself on accident.
I mean, I want to know how the story ends.
Let's move on. Let's move on.
All right, stuff we do have to talk about. We are starting with Bambi. Okay, we're not.
Are you talking about the?
No, actually, before I want to know one more thing because you didn't have much news. Please tell me that you saw 2 things. Actually, 2 things. Those things. First thing, I don't think we talked about it last episode, but Deadpool recent trailer with Sabretooth with Tyler Mane.
I did see that, but they already showed us how that ends.
I'm just like the pep talk. I thought the pep talk was awesome.
I did see that, though.
And I'm trying to remember, Tyler Mane was in which X-Men? Was it the first?
The very first one.
Okay, when did other dude take over? That was later in like the Wolverine
Origins,
right?
Wolverine Origins.
Okay. Because Tyler Mane, those that don't know, is Michael Myers in the Rob Zombie films.
Mm-hmm.
He's a big dude. So I'm stoked to see him in it. Okay, that was one thing. The other thing, did you see, and I can't remember what horror outlet posted it, did you see the actress in Longlegs reaction to Nicolas Cage's face?
I did.
And her heart rate apparently was like arresting like 70 something and then jumped up to like 170 something when she saw his face for the first time, which they block out his face, which is great. But I'm intrigued, and I'm hearing a lot of positive things about Longlegs. They're hyping it.
Yeah, that's something I do want to go see.
Yeah, I want to see it for sure. For sure. Are you going to go see Trapped in theater?
I'm going to try. I'm going to try to go see Trapped. I want to go see stuff in theaters this summer and fall because I didn't really get to last year.
You're going to go watch
so
Deadpool soon, right?
I'm going. Here's the thing. I'm going to have to go watch Deadpool because the day after it comes out, everything's going to be spoiled. So I'm going to have to go see it.
Sucks that we live in a day and age that's how shit is. Spoilers.
It does suck. All right, we got to move on.
Moving on. I want to talk more Demon Slayer. I'm going to keep getting pieces. No. I'm going to keep chipping away. All right, what are we discussing first?
Let's do the boys first.
What? Which one?
The boys.
Boys.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about the boys. This episode was called Christian is Right, episode 6. And if you haven't watched it, I'm sorry. Episode 7 is out at the time of recording this. But episode 6, pretty much, it was Christian is Right. And what do I mean by that? I mean that, honestly, it made so much sense after Christian said it. And as soon as this episode, I think it was pretty early in that. Well, no, it was probably midway, right? When they revealed it.
What the reveal is at the end. The reveal is at the end.
Well, honestly, it made so much sense once I started thinking about it and looking, because it's the conscience. Essentially, it's his conscience. You have his Butcher's wife on one side, which is do right, be good. And then you had, I can't even remember his name, Jeffrey Dean Morgan's whatever.
His name is, shit, what's his name?
Anyways, he's like your, do what you got to do shitty stuff. This is what you are. Your bad side of your conscience. Makes so much sense, but it's revealed Christian was right. Indeed, he's not really there. This is all Butcher. Butcher's crazy as hell. And apparently when bad stuff happens, like when they killed Ezekiel, that was Jeffrey Dean Morgan saying, I took care of that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting. Homelander. I mean, did you want Homelander to do the thing? Were you kind of like, Homelander, why don't you just go on and, do what you got to do?
When it comes to Homelander, I'm all about seeing him look stupid because I think it's hilarious.
I just love he's like, I'm not attracted to you. And then she just shoots him in the face with milk. And he's just like, oh, he just folds. Insta fold. Like, that milk hits his lips and he's just like, dude, imagine
the face that he made.
Homelander, you bring a milk truck like WWE did and you spray him and it's over. Kurt Angle will whoop that ass.
Oh my god.
Yeah. All right. Go in episode. Let's do it. What you got?
Okay. Yeah, I have some notes.
Okay.
Episode 6, season 4, episode 6 of The Boys. My notes. It opens with Dr. Samir. That is Zoe's daddy, the little girl soup of Victoria Newman that we saw. Butcher brings him the head of one of the dead V'd up sheep from the last episode, hoping to get the doctor to make use of it to make a super virus specifically designed for Homelander. After that, we see Huey spreading his dad's ashes on the set of Made in Manhattan on the tour of that movie. And we also see a little ad, like a poster for Black Addict on the cab, which I thought was quite funny. Kimiko is super sad about Frenchie. If you guys don't remember, Frenchie turned himself in to the authorities last episode, so he is locked up. We see Vernon Correctional Facility, the largest prison chain, private prison chain in the world of The Boys. And then really quick, I wanted to let you guys know, just in case some of you guys didn't connect, Tech Knight's real name is Robert Vernon, so his family owns all of those private prison chains, just in case you didn't know. A lot of stuff happens in this episode, so I'm gonna jump around just a little bit, but I wanted to make sure you guys knew.
fully is Batman.
Yeah, Tech Knight is Batman and Iron Man essentially in The Boys put together.
In the comic, technology and Dark Knight, right?
In Dark Knight, yeah. In the comics, he's both of them put together, but more. I'm sorry, let me take that back. In the comics, he's more a straight up Batman, just a parody of Batman. But in the show, they do like a Iron Man kind of thing. I did like that he can sense like he's like a fantastic detective. He can hear like your heart and like he can sense all that stuff, like the hearing and everything. Like I thought that was pretty cool for him to actually have like some gifts. Yeah, he has enhanced senses. Touch, smell, sight, all that. So that's his power in the show. They changed that from the comics, but it doesn't matter. It's way funnier right now. Well, it's pretty funny in the comic as well, but it's anyway. We're gonna move on. There's so much to talk about. Firecracker has taken over Cameron Coleman's show after his death, and they say that he's on sabbatical, of course, because they're not going to say that they literally beat him to death. We see that Firecracker's real name is Tucker Gray. Her initials are MTG, which I didn't realize this the first time I watched it, but the second time I watched it, that's a play on Marjorie Taylor Greene. If you guys don't know who that is, Google it. I don't really have the time to get into who that is right now. Well, I do. She's the woman that got famously, she's the woman that got famously made fun of for having a bad built, bleach blonde, butch body. That's that woman. So we'll move on. A-Train tells MM, or Mother's Milk, that about Homelander's plan to take over the country, and that the boys need to sneak into Tech Knight's party in order to kind of figure out what's going on with that. Tech Knight also apparently ran all the way to Canada in order to talk without Homelander hearing him because he's afraid he's going to get killed. Which, honestly, good on him, because as soon as Homelander finds out, he's very clearly going to kill him. So I'm just saying a rest in peace early for that dude, because there's no way he's... it'd be dope if he did, but there's no way he's going to make it. There's no way. Huey pretends to be...
Dude, what the hell did they do to Spider-Man? What was that? What was his name? Web
Weaver. Web Weaver.
His web comes out of his ass. Like
he's got a web hole.
Oh my god! Not my
he's
web
got a
hole.
web hole.
Don't stick in my web hole.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
MM knows the only way that they're going to get information in order to get in there is to hit up Web Weaver, which is who they hit up in another episode off screen. And that's when Butcher talks to MM, and he's like, heroin enemas are really expensive. This is what they were talking about. So this is how they got the information about Firecracker, about her, essaying a little boy or whatever. This is where that comes from. It comes from Web Weaver. He found that information out, and he paid for it with that. So they go to meet him. MM gives him a heroin enema. And if you don't know what that is, like, dog, actually probably shouldn't Google that. He literally like gives him heroin up his butt. Yeah, it's insane. Oh God! Also, guys, notice every time something really fucking gross happens, it always happens to Mother's Milk. Have y'all noticed that? Have you noticed that, Sim? Every time something really nasty happens, it happens to him. The love sausage thing, the heroin enema, the whale that they go inside of, and all that stuff. Like,
when are we gonna get more love sausage?
God, probably won't get more love sausage. To be honest,
that's the secret to beating Homelander is love sausage.
Loves, dude.
Wait, who is Mother's Milk? Wait, Mr. Sin in chat, you're not serious, right? MM.
The only black guy on the boys. That's who he is.
No, well, on their squad.
Yeah, on their squad, he's the only black person.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the guy who has like OCD real bad.
No, not A-Train. A-Train's on the boys, not the 7. On the boys with Butcher.
He's the guy who's always talking to Butcher and telling him that he's an ass.
Sin's over here struggling in chat. I don't know what's going on.
Nah, it's all good. It's all good. Oh, no worries. I'm trying to move on real quick. She missed all the Demon
Slayer conversation, and I wish she would have heard it because she would have probably been freaking out.
She could listen to it on the playback. It's all good. So anyway, they pretty much give him, it's not heroin. They shoot him up with I forget the drug that makes soups go to sleep.
He's out for
48
hours or something.
Yeah, 2 or 3 days he's out. Yeah. So Huey takes the costume from Web Weaver, in order to sneak into this party. Which so much going on there. So much going on. Ashley was invited to the party by Tech Knight. We find out that Web Weaver was on the list because him and Tech Knight have been chatting online about their kinks and planning a dungeon-style meetup. Huey, however, doesn't know this information, which is going to be a pain later, literally. Huey, as Web Weaver, starts planting bugs all over the party and then bumps into Victoria Newman. I'm of the mind that she knows that that's Huey because obviously he sounded just like Huey, but he smells really bad. So she just let it go to see what's going to happen. That's what I think. I could be wrong, but I just feel like there's no way she didn't know it was Huey because she knows like, everything. But anyway, moving on past that, we see that Tech Knight goes to show Web Weaver or Huey to the Tech Cave, which ends up being a fucking dungeon. He has his own version of Alfred named Elijah, which I thought was really funny. He points out a copy of Uncle Tom, an OG copy actually of Uncle Tom's Cabin, which is a 1850s novel. It might have been 52, but I'm just gonna say 1850s, not about slavery in the U.S. So obviously, Tech Knight is racist as shit, so that's a thing. And of course he is. It's the boys, so he's like not just racist; he's like super racist. But then Homelander is too. Like it. Uh, it's sad that it's so funny. Anyway, the book that opens up the Tech Cave I saw was the Marquis de Sade, or 120 Days of Sodom, which is crazy because that's just them saying sodomy, which is what Tech Knight wants to do to Huey as a web weaver. We'll see more of that later. But they do cut the scene and we go to Black Noir 2 Unmasked, just complaining about the job and how much he hates it. And apparently he can actually fly, but they don't let him because he's supposed to be playing the character of Black Noir. He gets a pep talk from the deep about essentially about how violence is power. So I'm wondering where that's going to go because the deep is getting dark as shit this season. So I'm kind of curious to see like where they take that. We see that Butcher talks to Becca, hallucinates talking to Becca about killing Homelander and how killing Homelander could create a new Homelander, which she's talking about Ryan at that point. Especially if Homelander is able to get through to him in a way that's really twisted, which we saw in the last episode. So that was a cool little conversation. We also see that Newman speaks with Senator Calhoun, I think is his name. And she hates talking to him so much that she imagines popping her own head. And I know a lot of people saw her pop her head in that second and thought, oh my God, did she really just do that? She was just dreaming about that because she hates talking to this guy. I'm trying to move on with these notes really quick and take out stuff. Me if I'm starting a little bit. But Sage tells Newman that her grandmother, had cancer, and that when she was very young, she took 3 days to come up with a cure, but rich old white dudes and doctors laughed at her and didn't take her seriously. So her grandmother died painfully. And this is why she is so super jaded now and hates humans and probably a lot of men too. Just because they didn't listen to her. And then if you look at Homelander, he is a very powerful white dude who also doesn't listen to Sage. So I think her plan is all encompassing, take out everybody, which is kind of crazy. But if anybody can do it so far in the show, it seems to be her because she's the smartest person here. So it makes sense. And there's some more stuff with Sage we'll get into in a little bit. Butcher sees Becca, who is telling him what he's doing is wrong. And he sees Joe as well, who is saying the exact opposite. So they are essentially an angel and a devil on his shoulder. We see throughout this episode, hardcore. They ram that home for sure. After being left out by Sage, Firecracker goes in the bathroom and cries about it, which I thought was kind of funny because like I don't feel bad for her at all because she sucks. But she runs into Starlight, who is also trying to sneak into the party. Her powers aren't working, so Starlight apologizes again profusely to Firecracker and tells her the reason why she did what she did and all this, and she starts to accept herself more in this. But then Starlight stabs her with a needle in the neck, and she passes out. And after being tickled, domed, and pissed and jizzed on by Ashley, we just see Huey or Web Weaver. He's just a mess and obviously not going to be okay. But Ashley leaves after this, and Ashley says some filthy stuff in this episode that I'm not going to repeat. Dang, it's insane. She's a freak. We already knew that, but she's a big old freak. Tech Knight finds out that Webweaver is actually Huey because he doesn't know Webweaver's safe word. So he takes his mask off and sees it as Huey, and then essentially tells Huey that he's going to, before Homelander comes in and kills Huey, um, he is going to cut a new hole into Huey and then bang that hole. I thought that was crazy, um, but also kind of hilarious because it's the boys. And then we see Sage later on writing in this diary that we've seen a couple of times, this little journal. We've seen her writing in it like almost every episode she's been in now. But confronts her with a gun, so she can't do anything. And then we start seeing her talk to about his life and his daughter, essentially goading him into shooting her in the head because we know from the last episode or last two episodes, but doesn't know that if she gets shot in the heart, she dies. If she gets shot in her brain will heal over time and it'll regenerate. So he shoots her in the head, and he thinks that she's dead after that, which obviously isn't the case. And then he passes out. He suffers a massive panic attack and passes out. But it looks like a heart attack when he does it. A-Train comes in, and then Kimiko has to hilariously tell him without speaking, using the covers of books, to get him to take to the hospital, which he finally agrees to do because somehow she found a book titled For the Sake of His Daughter. So he takes to the hospital, and when he does that, this little kid sees him as a hero and is like really excited about that. And that's like the whole thing A-Train's wanted this whole time is, people really thinking that he's a hero and saving lives. Because if you guys remember earlier in the season, his brother outed him as being a fake hero to his nephews, and that really hurt him. So that's a whole thing. After that, we see Homelander is getting ready for his super secret meeting with all these super mega powerful rich people. But Sage's IQ is that of about a 4-year-old right now because, she got shot in the brain and her brain is healing up. So Homelander takes over the meeting, but he sucks. He's not as smart as Sage. He's actually not that fucking smart to begin with. He's kind of dumb. He's just a big meathead and can't really get this stuff together and get people on his side. So Newman steps in and saves the day by talking to everybody. But I don't know if you guys noticed, she never actually answers their questions. She's just really good at smooth talking people, which is why she's
a politician.
Politics. Yeah, exactly. She's in politics for that reason, but she never answers any other questions. She just talks to them and tells them a bunch of shit they want to hear, and they go with it. So there's that. Tech Knight cuts a hole in Huey to have sex with, but gets knocked out. Well, he starts to cut a hole.
Yeah, he never gets the whole
cut,
I think.
Yeah, you're correct. He starts to cut a hole in him. Sorry. He gets knocked out by Kimiko, and they can't torture him for answers because he gets off on the torture.
Yeah, he likes it.
Which is insane, dude. But it's a good, well-written plot. I love that. Ooh. This whole episode, Huey's been in this dungeon. We see the person that is in full GIMP gear, red GIMP gear in the back. That character's name is Ladio, and Ladio is the former sidekick of Tech Knight. And you hear more about him in the comics. They've changed that around a lot in this, but we got what we needed. Ladio breaks out of his chains and then breaks into Tech Knight's accounts on his computer, all of his accounts. And the only way that they can really start torturing him is by donating his money to movements that he doesn't give a shit about, that he hates, like the gay community and Black Lives Matter was the big one. He says no, not those people. So they donate like $1 million to Black Lives Matter. He gets super pissed off and starts spilling the beans on what he's doing. Homelander and Sage want to use his private-owned prisons as internment camps, essentially. And after hearing that, the butler that I mentioned, that's like Alfred, his name is Elijah. He chokes Tech Knight out. He chokes him to death with like a tie or something and kills him on the spot. And he says that he's going to make it look like an accident, which was insane. He says, I've been cleaning jizz out of all these things, out of this dungeon for years, and he's an entitled little asshole. But I draw the line at internment camps. Essentially, is what was happening there. So Tech Knight's dead. He's done. We also see that Homelander learned from Firecracker that Cameron wasn't the leak and that the boys were at the party. But right before that, we also learned, which I forgot to mention because I didn't write this down, but Web Weaver, who is a full-on ripoff of Spider-Man, if you guys didn't know, his safe word was Zendaya, and I thought that was hilarious. Zendaya, his safe word was Zendaya, and apparently Zendaya is the thing that Web Weaver loves the most, which is very clearly a nod to Tom Holland's Spider-Man. So I thought that was really funny because they're dating in real life, blah blah blah. But anyway, Firecracker's telling him about the boys being at the Tech Night. Starlight got away from her, and she gives this heartfelt speech to Homelander about how she'll do anything for him. He tells her he's not sexually attracted to her at all, and she tells him it's not about sex. She's here to fulfill something for him, and she takes her boobies out and squeezes milk right in his mouth. And the look on Homelander's face, he's just like, he looks surprised, shocked, and like, yes, this is what I've been wanting. She full on just like fulfills his like mommy fetish at this point, and he starts nursing from her, and it's like a whole sick little twisted thing because she loves Homelander so much. We also learned that the medicine that what Frenchie found in like 2 episodes ago that she's been taking all of this time was medicine that induces lactation, but it enlarges your heart. So I assume that her enlarged heart is going to come back into play at some point at the end of the season, and that's probably how or why she's going to die. That's just what I'm assuming. Just makes sense because they wouldn't tell us that she has an enlarged heart for no reason. Then we go back to Butcher, and we see that Dr. Shaw,
and her heart's gonna explode.
well, he's not sexually attracted to her.
I mean, he will be after that, though.
And we'll see, man. We'll see. I don't know. I'm not ruling anything.
And he's ready.
God, it's so nasty. But Dr. Shaw says that he can't make a virus strong enough for Homelander because if he did, the virus would mutate and become a super virus, i.e. COVID. It would just literally just be COVID. And it would kill every soup on the planet. It would become airborne, kill every soup. Ryan, Starlight, everybody. His daughter with Victoria, Zoe, like everybody. Everybody would die that has compound V in their system. And then Butcher is arguing essentially with Becca, who's telling him he can't do this. And while that's happening, Joe tells her to shut her fucking pie hole or whatever he says. And then Butcher realizes that Joe isn't real. Also speak and hear Becca. And then Joe, we learn, is a sentient enough version of the virus little worm that's inside of Butcher that is killing him. So what I believe, this is just me right now. This isn't like me writing notes down and reading the comic books and shit, because the character Joe, like, that's not how he exists in the comic. I think that they are taking inspiration from the Venom character and the movies, and that Joe is essentially Butcher's version of Venom, and that he takes over Butcher's body later to do shit. Like when they killed Ezekiel, I think he just straight up took over his body like Venom, ripped Ezekiel to pieces, and then went back inside of Butcher to feed on his internal organs or whatever, like cancer. So that's what I think. I know that there's an episode that just came out today at the time of this recording. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm assuming that we'll get more of that information either on that episode or the next one, which would be the season finale. There's only one more season after this of The Boys proper, and then we'll get plenty of spin-off shows. And they're working on a new one right now that's supposed to. We'll see if the spin-offs are good. I know that the last spin-off of The Boys that came out actually was good, so I'm assuming this one will be good too. But we'll see. But that's all my news, all my notes, on The Boys. Sin, what did you think of the episode?
I thought it was fun. Another good episode. I enjoy The Boys. I enjoy what they're doing. And probably my favorite part is Homelander folding, just crumpling. I thought that was great. Tech Knight, obviously, us being Batman fans, I was like, damn, they kind of did him dirty, making him racist and just awful. I did really like the powers he had. Thought that was cool. And Huey, the big takeaway is Huey is not all right. Huey,
he's not okay. He
tries
needs
to
therapy for the
push
rest of his
through,
life.
and just shit gets progressively worse, and then he's just like, yeah. This is a good episode. I'm really excited for the next one, and I'm really excited to see where it goes. Sage, when she gets shot in the head, just regressing to like a 4-year-old was hilarious. I loved it. Just shoving cake in her face and stuff. It was fantastic. That's been a lot of fun, and I've actually enjoyed her character quite a bit. But yeah, it was a good episode. It was a good episode. I enjoyed it. So far, I mean, I feel like we say that every week. I don't know that there's necessarily been an episode where I'm like, that was not a great boys episode. It kind of one-ups itself each week. This week we had a web hole and shit getting shoved in a web hole, and then
oh god,
all kinds of other
was
stuff.
Hilarious.
So, yeah, it is what it is with that show. But for the sake of time, because we're running short, I guess it's time to move on to House of Dragon, right? Unless you have anything else boys related.
Oh, that's it.
All right, well, we will do like we have, and I'll start with Mrs. Sin's notes. So this was House of the Dragon, episode 4? 5.
Yep.
4.
Episode 4.
All right, Mrs. Sin's notes. She has the shot from below of Aegon riding Sunflower in King's Landing looks similar to when Khaleesi invaded Conda Landing with Drogon. I think Rhaenys volunteered to go because she has nothing left. She has no kids and found out her husband has kids still, bastards. She straps
herself. You mean
Meleys? Huh?
I'm sorry, Rhaenys.
Rhaenys, there we go. Yeah, I can't. What a weird noise in our house. She has no kids and found out her husband has kids still, bastards. She straps herself to Meleys because if Meleys goes down, then she's going down with her. Poor Sunfire just wanted to go for a joyride with Aegon, and he possibly died because Aegon is dumb. Next note, for those wondering how Aegon can get burned because he is a Targaryen, Khaleesi was a very rare case magic event that caused her not to burn with fire. Targaryens are not fireproof. They are just fire resistant to an extent, but they are not fireproof.
That's very true.
Aemon,
nobody except for her is immune to fire, especially. Oh yes, that's correct.
Aemon clearly has hard feelings for Aegon, bullying him his whole life. He also was holding the dagger from the prophecy. When the dagger is hot with fire, it reads, "From my blood will come the prince that is promised, and he will be the song of ice and fire." So I wonder if Aemon happened to see that and learns of the song of ice and fire, and possibly he believes he is the prince that was promised. Was awesome to finally see, or getting to see, a dragon battle, and Sir Kristen is still a huge piece of shit. Final note.
Very true. Great notes. Love that.
There we go. All right. So from there, we will let Christian proceed. The dragon fight was awesome. I'm just going to piggyback on that. We have never got to see an actual dragon fight in this. Like, we saw Vhagar eat and them chase, but we haven't seen them actually fight yet. So that was really cool to finally get to see a legitimate dragon fight.
I agree. I want to start this off by saying this. Who doesn't love dragons, right? Dragons are dope, mythical creatures. They look very majestic and awesome and blah, blah, blah. I have a huge issue as an artist, as a creator, with the dragons in the show. And I just have to complain really quick. No creature with wings can fly if those wings have holes in them. So every time we see a dragon on this show, massive fucking wings with holes in them, there is no way that she would be able to get off the ground if she had holes in her wings. It just doesn't make sense. And I hate it. That's the only thing I have to complain about. Like, dragons with holes in their wings, even though dragons aren't real. Any creature that has holes in its wings, those wings are used for flying, they cannot fly. That is not how wings work. Anyway, I just had to say that just bothers the hell out of me. And now I'm better. I'm moving on. Nothing new in the opening credits. We're just going to go ahead and start that off. I'm assuming we're going to have new opening credits on the new episode, but episode 4, no new credits. We see that Damon is dreaming of the old Iron Throne room, which I thought was really cool because that's a really good attention to detail. He's seeing young Rhaenyra, but she's wearing the adult Rhaenyra's like outfit with her father's crown on. So I thought that was really cool. She only speaks in High Valyrian, which I thought was really cool. And she says, "You're set on destroying me, all because your brother loved me more." And I just he cuts her head off after that. He can't take it anymore. I thought that was really and her headless body, her severed head, still speaking in High Valyrian says, "This is what you always wanted, is it not?" And I was just like, bro, they are getting in Damon's head hardcore right now. And I thought that was just a really cool thing to see. Simon Strong wakes Damon up, tells him that ravens from Dragonstone are there, but he hasn't messages. When Damon's getting walked to the main council room, he sees Black Goat, which reminds me of Black Phillip from The Witch, but also the devil, which that could be demons, bad omens, occult stuff, witchcraft, all that. The reason why I bring that up is because in the books and even in the show now, I think her name is Alice. Alice Rivers, yeah. She is said to be a witch. And then we see her like brewing stuff in this episode too. So I think either she made Damon see that goat or she was the goat. I don't know which one it is, to be honest with you, but that's my train of thought as I'm watching the episode. We see Oscar Tully that shows up instead of Grover Tully. He's a child, and it's exactly the opposite of before. And I also wanted to bring up really quick, and if I haven't said it before, all of the Tullys have Sesame Street ass Muppet names. So you have Oscar, Grover, Kermit, and Elmo, I think are their names so far. And that's just like a running joke with George R.R. Martin. He just loves that shit. So that's why they have those ridiculous names. Rhaenys goes to the docks looking for Corlys and finds Alan, and she knows immediately who he is. She calls him comely, and comely means handsome or attractive. So that's what that is. She's saying he's attractive because he looks like Corlys, and she also says your mother must have been very beautiful. He had to be very beautiful in order for Corlys to, sleep around and sire bastard children with someone else. So I thought that was very pointed for them to say in the episode. It also tells Corlys she knows who he is because he asks why he was looking for her and looking for him. She says that she knows who he is and that she essentially is saying that Corlys should make him the heir to Driftmark because the other options that they have aren't really viable. And that is going to be a huge story point later, so I don't want to get too much into that for spoilers purposes, but there's a reason why they put that in the show. Alicent drops the dragon statue that she gifted to Viserys in this first season when she was still a little girl. She takes, let me see. Oh, she takes Moon Tea because she's very clearly afraid that she either is or might be pregnant with Kristen Cole's kid. So taking that Moon Tea, getting rid of that baby. Cole beheads Gunther Darkland, we see, because he won't bend the knee, and he calls him before he gets his head cut off, Kingmaker, which is very true, especially at the end of this episode. You also see that Kristen Cole gets a secret message, and this is the second time we've seen him get a secret message and not read it or tell anybody about it, just put it in his pocket or whatever, and just keep moving. So I liked seeing that. And then we see Aegon is pissed about Harrenhal, and he's talking to her foot stuff about it. And he's pretty much telling him, don't worry about it. He says that castle is more crippled than I am, which I thought was really funny for him to say. And he's also saying it doesn't matter if Daemon has the castle because they don't have shit over there, and I own I control all the money for that place. So that's very pointed as well. Aemon essentially tells Aegon, the king, that Kristen Cole and him are a team. They've been conspiring against it, not against him, but just behind his back for a while. He embarrasses Aegon in front of the entire council. Council, excuse me, not cancel. I don't know why I said that. Aemon can't speak High Valyrian, or sorry, Aemon can speak High Valyrian very well because he paid attention when kids, never learning it. But Aegon, because he's a giant dumbass, never took it seriously and can't speak it. So when Aemon is speaking to him in High Valyrian, he is speaking to him normally, but he's doing it because he is an idiot, can't understand it, so he's embarrassing him further. And all of this is because he embarrassed him at that brothel in the last episode, which the payback for this is Chef's Kiss. If nothing else, Aemon is petty as hell. So fucking petty. Just like Daemon, by the way, also very petty. He also says that you were spending time trying to find a, what was it, Surbicate? I had to look that word up because I didn't know what the fuck that. So once I looked it up, it just means nickname. So you remember in episode 1, he was getting drunk in the throne room with all his boys, named the new King's Guard. They were trying to figure out a name for him. They were going to be calling him Aegon the whatever, the magnanimous, whatever the word they said is, magnanimous. I can't remember.
He called him something stupid when they walked in that time.
It was something very stupid, but like that's what they spend their time doing is coming up with names for him instead of like actually doing shit. So Aemon was making hella fun of him. Then we see what else do we see? Mars checks in on Alicent and then immediately sees that she's taken moon tea and starting. They have themselves a little dick measuring conversation. Kind of cool. See a one-eyed version of Daemon, Dream Daemon anyway, like rummaging the halls of Harrenhal, which is foreshadowing for sure. I think we talked about that last season, but that's hella foreshadowing. Daemon and Aemon are like opposites. They're like the same person, but it's different spectrums, right? They're both warriors. They're both dragon riders. They both have like ruthless ambition. They're both in their roles. Like it's insane. He meets Alice. She tells him about himself essentially because she just knows all about him. We see that Harrenhal is cursed as fuck, and also he calls her a witch, which is a nod to the book. That's what they call her as well. We also figure out that Daemon's bed is straight up made out of those heart trees, the trees that have the bleeding faces in Game of Thrones. His bed is made out of that. So that's why your boy's seeing all this crazy shit. Aside from the mystery drink that he takes from her, which I thought was real stupid of him to do. He takes that drink from her because he can't sleep, and he wakes up the next day in a meeting. So he doesn't know how he got there or anything, which I thought was really cool. Like the way they edited that for the episode was dope. I really enjoyed that. He wakes up during a meeting with Willem Blackwood, and Willem is the kid that we saw in the last season that killed that one guy that got in an argument with him after they were trying to vie for the hand of Rhaenyra. Remember him? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's that kid all grown up now. I thought that was really cool to see. What else happened? The Green Council is having a meeting, and Aegon essentially and leaves. And then as soon as that happens, they continue talking like nothing happened, and they're still doing what they need to do. We go to, let's see what else happened. Alicent is in his room once he goes. She's looking for history books that Viserys had. And he tells her that he had those books thrown out, but not burned, just, moved somewhere else. And he tries to confide in her, but she's a terrible mom to him. Pretty much tells him exactly the opposite of what he. Nobody likes you. Nobody respects you. Do what I want you to do. Shut up and just listen and let other people run the thing while you just sit on the throne. So he gets super drunk and does some stupid shit, which we'll talk about here in just a second. Then we get to Rook's Rest. And you see that Cole is relaying to his men that he wants to go to war right now. He wants to move and take Rook's Rest. And you see Sir Gawain, who doesn't want to do that. And he knows that this could easily be a trap. But It's actually a trap from Kristen, which we're about to find out. Rhaenyra returns. Jace is super fucking pissed at her. She is finally ready for war. But she won't send Jace to go and fight on his dragon. She's his heir, and she needs him alive because of the Song of Course, and she doesn't want her son to die, but also because he's inexperienced dragon riding and fighting. So with that, she wants to go. But that's a part of Aemon and Cole's trap, right? They want to bait her into going because they want to kill her. That's their whole thing. Especially Cole because he's a whiny little bitch. So they really, really want to kill her. And instead of her going, Rhaenys goes. She's pretty much like, you can't go. If you die, the war's over. I'll go. It has to be me. Which, as soon as that happened, like, we all knew what was going to happen right after that. But she goes instead, and then we see drunk ass Aegon suiting up and then going to his dragon Sunfire, who looks cool as fuck, by the way. Sunfire looks really cool. Super dope looking dragon. Jace is told about the prophecy from Rhaenyra. Aemon and Vhagar are playing hide and seek, essentially. They're just waiting for who they think to be Rhaenyra to show up with her dragon and then take over. But then Aegon shows up. So Aemon and Vhagar just kind of sit and watch the battle for a little bit before they jump in, which was crazy and panic inducing because you're watching this episode knowing what's going to happen and you're still like anxious to see it, actually see it. Then we get the dope dragon battle. It's Rhaenys versus Aegon. It's super epic. I love seeing all of it. Melee's, her dragon, is scratching the shit out of Sunflower, and he's just bleeding all over these people. This hot, boiling ass blood. I thought that was a really good attention to detail. It looks really cool. Then Vhagar jumps in, and they don't give a fuck about Aegon. He Dracarys and burns his brother along with Melee's and Rhaenys as well. So it's super brutal and it looks cool. I love it. Aegon's out for the count, so it's just Rhaenys and Vhagar. Rhaenys had a chance to escape, but she doesn't. She goes back to fight. Her dragon gets killed, and she dies as well. That fall is what killed her, not Aegon. I'm sorry, not Aegon, but Aemon. So Aemon doesn't do anything because he can't control Vhagar. Talk to her and get her to do stuff, of course, but he doesn't really control her. She gets pissed off and just does stuff. And Vhagar is his dragon. She just does stuff by herself. He has no control over her, actually. She's the biggest, strongest dragon, oldest dragon that there is. He can't control her. He just uses her as a weapon, which we've seen. So Aemon is burned up. Kristen Cole sees him. And then we also Aemon's going to kill his brother. But he doesn't because Kristen Cole says something. And I don't know if that's the show trying to make us think that he's going to kill him so he can be king or whatever, or if he was just putting his sword up anyway. To me, it looked like he was putting his sword away. But literally everybody that I talked to about this episode, he was going to kill him. He was going to kill him. So maybe I'm wrong on that. But all that to say, the show ends and it seems like Aegon is dead. I'm going to go ahead and spoil that for you guys, though, right now. So if you don't want to hear, I'm sorry, skip ahead a few minutes. But in the book, Aegon is not dead. He's just burnt up and can't walk. His dragon's the same way. Wings are fucked up. He can't fly. He needs a lot of time to heal. So Aemon becomes the king regent at this point. So he's ruling instead of his brother right now because his brother's up and they're waiting for him to heal. And I think the drama there is, will Aegon be able to speak? Because if he's able to speak, he can tell everybody that Aemon tried to kill him, essentially, with that Dracarys. But I'm assuming something's going to happen. One of two things. He's not going to be able to, or he's going to have some sort of amnesia. But in the books, when he gets burned, his armor is melted to his skin. So it's like this weird medieval Two-Face from Batman situation. So I really want to see that. And I'm excited to see how they do that makeup and stuff. I hope they make it look really cool in the next episode. But that's the end of the episode. It was really cool. I really liked it. This is one of the most exciting episodes that we've had. It's probably going to be the most exciting episode we have. because that's how Game of Thrones tends to work. We get one really dope, exciting, action-packed, death-filled episode. Then we get some filler, and then we get some drama, and it kind of ends. So if it's anything like the last season or the Game of Thrones proper show, I'm assuming that's how it's going to be. Sin, what were your final thoughts on that episode, man?
I think Melis's death was really sad when Vhagar just clamped down on the neck, and you just watch the dragon die. Like, that was pretty sad. I think it was good. I think we'll get at least one more action show, or like, because I mean we got a whole war to go, and I feel like there's got to be some more. I don't think we're gonna get Aemon yet. I feel like that'll be next season. I feel like we'll build to that. So we're not ready for that yet. But I feel like when we'll get one more battle this season. I don't remember how many episodes. 8, 10? I don't. But yeah, it'll definitely be more filler and drama. The typical Game of Thrones stuff. But I feel like we'll get one more kind of like actiony somewhere. Hopefully, at least I hope we do. I mean, there's a lot of battle to go. I mean, this is a very, what is the saying? There's not a bloodier battle than battle between dragons or a war with dragons or
war.
So I mean, we have to have more bloodshed. But I'm excited to see what happens with Aegon. And yeah, Vhagar. I already have a theory. I don't think Mrs. Sin is under the impression it's going to be multiple dragons to take out Vhagar. I think Vhagar is going to have to be removed from the equation altogether. I think you're going to have to find Aemon on the ground and take out Aemon that way and remove Aemon from the dragon. Like, I feel like that's the only way to take out Vhagar, because the next biggest one is Daemon's. Well, I say it's Daemon's. The one that Daemon found last season. What was that one called?
With the dragon, you mean?
Yeah, he found that one in the cave, remember? At the end.
I don't remember which dragon that
Vermithor?
Oh, yeah.
Is that who Daemon found was Vermithor? Is that it?
I think so.
So I mean,
but that's the thing though.
But even then, it's not as big and I'm assuming as mean as Vhagar. Vhagar looks like, you know how like when people get really older and they get like the neck skin.
Yeah.
That's like Vhagar. Every time it stands up, it's like just the chest and neck, like it's swinging. It's like, man. But then it just destroys everything. Thing is stupid big.
Vhagar's huge.
Where Melis dies, though, it did scare Mrs. Sin. Vhagar coming up out of nowhere. I knew it was coming. I was like, yeah, Vhagar's about to appear like he did with Luke. Was it Luke that died? Just about to appear and ruin everything, and sure enough, there it was, just clamping down.
I just don't understand how a dragon that fucking big can just keep hiding.
Dude, they did some straight up guerrilla warfare. He had him like laid out in the woods. Like, wasn't there even like brush and shit on top of Vhagar? Like, he had covered,
a whole bunch,
which is really a smart tactic. But I mean, I don't know. It was a good episode. The best episode so far, probably, of this season. We got Dragon Battle. We had other action. We had Daemon tripping balls. Rhaenyra is just pretty much like, now she's agreed, hey, we got to, dragons, it's got to be dragon fighting. Like, it's time to bring the dragons out. We're not just going to win this on the ground. Her son is getting some balls.
You talking about Chase?
Yeah. Starting to get a little spunky. I mean, I like it, though.
Makes sense. He's super pissed, man. I get it.
As soon as I saw Rhaenys soling up and then putting her head to Melis and like, let's do it again, old girl, I was just like, yeah, you're done. You're dead. Like, this is a goodbye. You're having your moment with your dragon. You're dead. And then especially when she's strapped down, I was like, yeah, you're for sure dead. Like, you're not going back. You've already accepted your fate. Yeah, good episode. Excited for this week. I was not aware of the Two-Face thing, so I'm excited for that. That will be really cool. Miss Cindy said Jace needs to stop suggesting to send dragons. He got Luke and Rhaenys killed because he suggested sending dragons. Yeah, well.
Well, everybody was going to suggest that. There was no way around.
They baited him. They baited him hard there. It was a full.
Oh, yeah, they did. I mean, but that's the whole point. And because it's one of those situations where you start using dragons and then that's it, right? People are no
There's no
longer
coming
really
back.
used. Right? Kristen Cole, he got knocked out in this episode. Useless as a soldier. If
I
you
think he
can't ride a dragon, it
realizes
doesn't
too,
matter.
if you look at him, like, he's used to the war being on the ground, right? Like, you can control, you can command your troops. You can't control anything when it comes to dragon warfare. Like, you're just a helpless bystander if you're not on a dragon at that point. Like, you're collateral damage. And I think he realized that when they were up there fighting, and like you said, the Bloods fall on the battlefield or the dragons fall down and they just take out a bunch of stuff and then they're stomping people. Like, you're literal collateral damage, cannon fodder, whatever at that point. And I think he realized that. He's like, oh shit, what have we done?
It's true. I mean, there's nothing else he can do. There's nothing he can do.
Good episode though. Ready for next week. And that's all I got. What do you got? You got anything else?
That was it.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that means that it's time that we
pass the whiskey.
That's right. Get your
Whiskey.
As we go to last call. And why do I have a spider sense that Jordan has submitted something?
Because he has.
Okay. Well, here we go. Dude, my head already hurts, Jordan. If you're listening.
You ready for it?
No. I hope it's Demon Slayer themed.
It's not.
God.
Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right. The question this week
Also,
is
this
as
is
follows.
an unfair advantage. I just want you to know, because you always have time to sit here and ponder on things, and I'm just like, the end of the world's
Well, I
happening.
answered.
Do you eat a
I
bologna
answered
sandwich
it pretty
or do you-
readily.
What?
When the world is eating, do you eat a bologna sandwich or 2 pieces of bologna? Which
Yeah. See?
The question is as follows. Would you rather be trapped in a small room with 10,000 tarantulas for 10 minutes or eat 10 tarantulas in 10 minutes?
Wait, say it again? What?
Would you rather be trapped in a small room with 10,000 tarantulas for 10 minutes or eat 10 tarantulas in 10 minutes?
Trapped in the room.
Can you explain yourself on that?
Oh, I'm about to be stomping and swinging like a madman. No hardcore kid has ever seen the fury that's about to come out of me for 10 minutes.
But you're in
My
a
heart's going to explode because I'm going to go
You're in a
ham.
small room and there's 10,000. That means
Yeah,
there's
okay.
so many
Chat wants to know, are they
tarantulas.
dead?
No, they are alive.
If you're eating them.
They're alive.
Yeah, I'm staying in the room. I'm swinging. I'm taking.
I asked the same question, Chad. I'm not gonna. Because I knew you were gonna ask.
See, why do you get to ask questions? This is not.
I knew you were gonna ask the question. Literally, he sends the question, and I said, "Let me pull a sin real quick. Are the tarantulas alive?"
No,
and he said,
going.
Yes.
I'm gonna swing and stomp. I'm not eating those. I'm not dealing with that. I'm gonna just go.
Can they bite? Yeah, tarantulas can bite. Yeah, they can bite you. Sure, absolutely.
Oh, I can bite them
sure
too
can.
as I'm punching it. I mean, we're going straight up.
Absolutely hate spiders, but hold on. Your wife says I absolutely hate spiders, but I think I'd rather be in a room with them. Can't eat them. Now, Mrs. Sin, I want you to think about this. You're in a small room with 10,000 tarantulas, which means there are probably so many, not probably, there are definitely so many tarantulas in there that the height of the sheer amount of them comes up to about your knee. That's how many of them are in there. So you're knee deep in tarantulas that are all alive and probably trying to kill you, or you can eat 10 of them.
Yeah, you know how big they are? I'm not eating that. And it's furry? Bro, that's about to be so weird.
And they're big.
I
tarantulas
just said
are
they're
big.
big.
Yeah.
Okay, they could be knee
She
deep.
said it's...
You ever seen a Hulk? Look, like, I'm just going to be like this, just punching downward and just giving it everything I got, and I'm just going to scream bloodlust for 10 minutes, and I may come out, like, chewed up from tarantulas, but I'm going to take out as many as I can.
Elf in the chat says, I'm dead. Full-on panic attack, dying either way. Brother, I feel you. I feel you. Legit, I died from a panic attack. Definitely not the topic for arachnophobes.
Question is, how do we get in that room? Do you like drugged and you're just like, you wake up there? Is
I'm
this
just
some
gonna say
Saul
they drop
stuff?
you. They
It's like,
just
do you
drop
want to
you
play a
in the-
game? You either eat 10 of these in 10 minutes or you fight 10,000 over the next 10 minutes.
I don't. Here's the thing. Do you think? And this is a real question.
What are you
Do
picking?
you
Are
think?
you eating it? Are you eating the spider?
I'll answer right after this. I answered right after this. Do you think you
I'm going to
have
say
the
you're going to eat it because you
stamina?
also said you would, well, we're not going to go back to episode 100 and what you said you would do. But Christian doesn't mind putting stuff in his mouth. So he's going to eat the spider.
Mike, the question is, do you think you have the stamina to fight off 10,000
I don't care. I'm going to try.
tarantulas?
I told you my heart's going to explode. I'm not going to stop. I won't be able to breathe. I may be like raising one pinky still fighting, but I'm going to be giving it all I got, just trying to fight these things. Dude, I'm going out like a hot shot. My heart's just going to explode. I'm going to swing until I can't swing no more.
That's hilarious, man. Mrs. Sin, are you saying the same thing? You'd rather fight for your life and die? Because there's no way your last
Tarantulas aren't even
10,000
poisonous. You're not going to die, are they?
They can bite, dog. I mean,
That doesn't mean they're poisonous.
Yeah, but think about 10,000 spiders biting you in your eyeballs, and it's over for.
No, you can't have a bee
yeah,
suit,
I'll just
Mrs.
fight
Sin.
for my life. Can I have a bee suit? Nah. No.
Okay, Jay in
suits.
chat just said tarantulas aren't normally aggressive. They only bite for defense. So if you hold still, you're fine. I'm pissing them all off because I'm not holding still.
Let's say this.
War? It was a firefight. I'm just going to start screaming and swinging and making matters worse. Maybe they'll start fighting each other. I'm going to find the biggest tarantula and I'm going to pick on it first to establish dominance.
I highly doubt that you'd be able to sit in a room with 10,000 tarantulas and not get bit. It's 10,000 of them. They're going to be agitated. There's no way they wouldn't be.
They're going to fight each other.
And they're everywhere. They're on the ceiling, the walls, the floor, probably in your pants somehow. Like, it's insane. Oh, you think your butt crack's itching? No, that's a tarantula. They're everywhere.
I'm going to be fighting so hard. I'm not even going to care. I'm going to clench my butt cheek and rip a leg off.
It'll be like Animal Crossing and they're chasing. Well, you said knee deep earlier, so I was using. That's fair. That's totally fair. You're correct. I did say that. And I stand by that, so that's fair.
Stop dodging it.
All right. So either sit in a room with tarantulas for 10,000 tarantulas for 10 minutes or eat a tarantula a minute for 10 minutes. My initial thought was I could probably just eat them. But here's the thing. They're still alive. So I'm going to have to go with being in the room. I'm right there with you guys. I'm fighting for my life.
There's no way I'm eating 10 of those things. They're massive.
Nah.
They're hairy. I'm not going to deal with that. And in 10
They're
minutes,
not going to let
I would
you
do
just
good to eat
them.
one in 10 minutes. There's no way I can eat 10 of them.
Oh, man.
There's
Jordan,
no way.
wherever you are listening to this, you just ruined everybody's night. And I'm here for it. I love it. But yeah, I'm definitely going to fight for my life. Like, dude, if it's that
what if you
many
go to
of
eat
them,
one and it has baby? What? How is this getting progressively worse? I'm not eating them in the first place.
What if you eat one and it has baby?
Yeah, what happens if you kill the 10 instead of eating them? What if you're just
if I'm
murder,
eating, hear me out. Hear me out. If I'm eating a tarantula and it has babies while I'm eating it, I'm killing myself. We're done. I'm done. I'm taking myself out the picture. There's no way I'm going to make it. More than knee deep. Dinner served. Yeah, man, it's over for you. It's straight over for you. There's no getting.
No way. Can we have you have no weapons, right?
No weapon. It's just you, dog. Just straight hands.
Fisticuffs?
Straight hands.
I'm swinging.
Just you, Braun Strowman style. Get these hands, bro. That's all.
Oh, They may bite me, but I'm taking out a bunch of them with me, and then I'm gonna talk trash on them. I'm leaving that room in 10 minutes.
I'm killing the 10 before I eat them. Nah, dog. You gotta eat them a
What
lot.
about the eating? Is it just you and 10 in the room? Yeah, you got to do. I don't know how that works. Maybe they're in a container and you just got to grab one and eat it, and you got to
You
do
just gotta
that 10 times in 10
grab them
minutes.
out of their. Yeah, you gotta
Dude,
grab
there's
them
no
out of
way
their
you
little
can eat
habitat.
one in a
eat 'em.
minute. You're not gonna eat a whole tarantula alive in a minute. To do it in 10 minutes, you have to average. You need to do a minute tops. Because you're not just going to be able to shove that whole thing and swallow it. That thing's going to be like spazzing all, legs coming out your mouth, and no.
What about the eating just you into the way I assume it is, you're sitting like in a chair or a stool or whatever, and there's like a big container and it has 10 tarantulas in it. You got to take them out and eat 10 of them.
Nope. I'm good.
Watch a lot of Fear Factor. You'd be amazed what people will eat. I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't try to eat them. I just don't know if I have it in me. Because here's the thing: they're not going to let you just eat them, right? They're going to be biting, clawing, not clawing, but they're gonna be biting and like moving around, skittering and shit. So you first of all, you got to get them out of the damn thing, and you got to assume that they're not just in there docile, right? They don't want to be held, they don't want to be picked up, they don't know you. So that's a thing. So that's happening, and then you're eating them. Like, I don't know, man. 10 of them, and they don't taste good. They're hairy as fuck, and you gotta eat the whole thing. You can't eat like a piece of it, bite the abdomen of it off, and then go about your life. Like, nah, dog. You gotta eat all of it, all 8 legs, eyes, everything. So, like, I'm just saying, do you think you got the cojones to do that? Maybe if you were blindfolded and you know what you're eating.
10 tarantulas in 10 minutes.
I don't need to know because I'm not eating nothing. I'm fighting. Straight hands,
what kind
dog.
of tarantula?
I'm
Wait,
fighting.
what's the variables here? What are we
What kind of tarantula? Let's just say the biggest, hairiest
Hold on,
bastards.
I didn't know we have variants here. Either way, I don't care what you put in the room. We are scrapping. I'm coming in there like you just slapped me in the mouth, and I am just about to I'm going to think of the most aggressive metal song ever, and I'm going to go hard as long as I can until I just pass out. And then whatever. I'm taking thousands with me. I'm going to rip legs off, throw them. According to Google, there are about 1,000 different kinds. Whoa, what?
Did you think you were going to get out of this? Okay.
No, I mean, I'm fine with it. I'm like I said, my heart's gonna explode. I'm probably just gonna I'm gonna set my heart ablaze, Christian.
I will say this, and I hate when people.
I'm not eating though. Regardless, eating is not an option for me. I'm not doing it.
If I was able to like fight for my life with my own like soundtrack that I made, like my own playlist, then I'd be good.
What? Now,
I'm just saying,
is that going to help you from getting spider bit? That's not going to help you at all.
If I'm in a room full of 10,000 spiders and they're blasting Composure from August Burns Red through the speakers, I'm fighting. I'm gonna live.
What's your playlist? You got 10 minutes. What is your playlist for 10 minutes? So that's like probably 2.5 metal songs, maybe 3.
I'm gonna have Composure. I'm gonna have Last 10 Seconds of Life playing. I'm gonna have Murderer from what's that band called? God, they have Anything Goes as one of their songs. Jesus Christ, what's the name of that band? They're like a Christian metal band, but they're heavy as hell. When everything's gone, anything goes. I can think of the song in my head. What's the name of that band? Good God. God. I really can't think. Huh?
For Today?
No, not them.
Haste Today?
No.
Christian band.
God. Man, what's the name of that band?
I don't know.
I've seen them live a couple times.
Well, that doesn't help me.
Damn. Come on, man. How can I think of the name of this band? This sucks that I can't think of the name of this band right now.
I'll do 10 moss spiders. They're the size of your fingernail.
Nah,
Yeah,
dog.
that's not even remotely close to what I'm thinking tarantula. I'm thinking like a
Thick. It's
tarantula.
thick boy tarantulas. Thick hairy
I'm
boy
thinking big boys.
tarantulas. Thick boys.
Yeah. I'm fighting. I'm disappointed.
The name of their band is, or that song is, man, I'm still thinking of this band real quick.
What is it called again? What's the song?
God, the song is Anything Goes. I'm thinking of right now. But the song I would want to listen to him is Murder.
Is called Anything Goes? Impending
yeah.
Doom?
Impending Doom. That's the band I'm thinking of. You cut out. I couldn't hear what you just said.
I said Impending Doom.
Yeah.
Before you said Impending Doom.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, my headphones or something cut. Yeah, that's the band that I'll be playing. I'll be playing Impending.
Ooh, I'd probably have to play at Whitechapel.
That's fair.
Probably like Vicer, Exciser or something.
Either that or JFC by Acacia Strain.
Yeah, that one might. What else would I play at Super Mad? Dude, it would just have to be something that's just heavy. So I'm just like even more amped up. 10 minutes though. You're going to be shot.
Oh, for sure, but you'll live.
Maybe.
I'll do I'm still tripping. Jay, listen, it's thick, hairy boy tarantulas. You either got to fight 10,000 of them things or you got to eat 10 of them in 10 minutes. So that's all you got, dog.
I'm going to be squeezing them. I'm going to be doing everything I can. I'm talking about like just grabbing and crunching and punching. I'm going to be throwing them at each other, kicking.
You're going to beat a tarantula with another tarantula.
Dude, I am. I'm going to just like grab one by the legs and go swinging it at stuff against walls. I'm going to be throwing them like baseballs across the room. Dude, it's not going to be for the weak of heart. It's going to be, if I'm getting
seen the movie?
Everything.
Have you seen the movie Eight-Legged Freaks?
Dude, that's literally like a Saw question. Where in the hell is Jordan getting this?
Have you seen the movie Eight-Legged Freaks?
Yeah. It has David Arquette in it?
Yeah. It's going to be like that, bro. I'm killing all those spiders.
Dude, what the hell?
All right, well, that's it, guys. I got to get going, so we're going to have to one up.
All right. That's it for Last Call. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would like your question to be featured in Last Call, come join the Kick stream, kick.com/IamSinister, or you can submit it on social media for us. New episodes come out every Wednesday, 8 a.m. Central Time on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, as well as my personal YouTube, youtube.com/IamSinister. If you want to watch the video version, so go 8 a.m. every Wednesday. Go check it out. Even though Christian does not share the podcast because he doesn't like you all, apparently. But yeah. So, Wednesdays, 8 a.m. Check it out. You can check out Sippin With Sin on social media at Sippin With Sin, SIPPIM with Sin. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Facebook, all that good stuff. Go show it love. You can find me on my personal social media. IamSinister TV, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Facebook, Twitch. Yeah, all those places. And you can find me live streaming on kick.com/IamSinister. And then, of course, youtube.com/IamSinister. You can watch the videos and stuff there. Other podcasts I do, Behind the Vocals, goes live every Friday, 8 a.m. Central, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and, of course, on my YouTube. So check that out. We also do those live on Kick as well. And, yeah, that's where you can find me and all the stuff and things. Christian, where can lovely folks find you?
You guys can find me on Instagram at VinandInc. Get my I tried to probably believe you guys.
Literally, we heard nothing you said except for contrary. You can find me and contrary to popular belief. That was it.
Wow, really? That's crazy. Yeah. I was saying you guys can find me online at VinandInc on my Instagram. That's all one word. You guys can also find me on TikTok at my full name, Christian Vincent. Contrary to popular belief, I don't like social media that much. So that's only two places you guys can find me at the moment, but I will be having new socials made later on when the time calls for it. So see me then.
New socials, eh? All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for this episode. We appreciate you listening. If you made it this far, you're a real one. You don't have to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here. It's time for Christian to shut it down until next week.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in to yet another episode of Sipping With Sin. You guys have been doing We really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Leave a 5-star review, click that like button, do all the things for YouTube and social medias in general. We love you. But I'm gonna leave you guys now with 3 words. 3 words to leave you with every week. If you guys have been here before, say them with me. If you haven't, listen carefully because these words just might save your life. Those 3 words are as such. Don't get gutted.
See you guys next week.